scripted what is the scripted nature of wrestling? I mean, at least in the most popular form on WWE and back in the WWF days, has that always what has been the balance of scripted versus actual performance, and has that changed at all since the times of WWF into WWE?
Typically, they're all like, to my knowledge or my take on it, it's pretty much all scripted, but there could sometimes like be a switch. If say we got a match going on and it's a great match, and then for some reason like I'm supposed to win, like I'm the champion, I'm gonna retain that night, I'm gonna retain the championship, but then the crowd is really rooting for you for some reason and it's going crazy. There's a chance that the higher ups in the back might tell the ref like, hey, yo, tell so and so that we're change of plans. We're gonna put this guy over instead. And putting him over is kind of like, yo, we're gonna give him the belt. We're gonna give him that shine, because they might see something that can increase, like, just, it could be better sales. It can be just you're going off the popularity of that character. There's so much different variables. That's rare, but it can happen.
So they'll actually flip the script.
Yeah.
And how do you, like, does the audience ever know that? Or, like, how would you know that? Just, I'm curious. Has it just been in historical reports, fighters have spoken of it?
So they talk a lot during the match. Like, they converse with each other. It's kind of like, if I'm going to throw you into the ropes, I'm going to do a drop kick. I'm like, all right, ropes, drop kick. Like, so when you're holding, like, you kind of like whispered into the other guy's, your opponent's ear, and the cameras are getting so much better, like, around the rings, and that means improved mic, that sometimes they do pick up on that. And unfortunately, you'll hear like leaked footage, and you'll be like, or even sometimes like people record, and you can actually hear some of the wrestlers like just yelling out all the moves, or this, like, hey, I'm gonna pin you now. It's like, or hey, we're gonna do this. I'm big chop, or like sell this, and like, so and they kind of conduct the match. A good wrestler actually is someone who knows like how to conduct that, because if they're supposed to do a certain move and say they get injured, they have to come up with something on the fly. It's like, all right, there's like, yo, I was like, I can't run, twist my ankle. Like, all right, we're gonna do this. Like, you don't want to mouth it out. The audience shouldn't see you. They shouldn't hear you. They can hear and see some mumbling or lip reading, but yeah, and they'll let them know, either change a plan or follow along the script. And the ref has they have their own mic, and the people in the back, they can tell the ref whatever they want to tell them, and it's up to them to like let the wrestlers know, like, oh, we're gonna change up, we're gonna do this. But again, that's rare. But yeah, typically they just kind of follow the script. Like, they know the gist of it, how it's gonna be, and hopefully whatever veteran is in the ring just knows how to communicate, and yeah, they go from there.
By script, does that mean they rehearse sort of the actual choreography of the fight?
Some wrestlers do. Some you just kind of have to trust the other person. Like, say I'm giving you like, I'm the talent relations manager for WWE, and you're a dude coming from the independent, and depending on who you go against, not all veteran wrestlers like to, like, hey, just follow my lead, and that's it. You just have to know how to, like, literally just follow their lead, know what the commands are going to be, know how to just perform, know how to sell, because it's not all about the guy who's doing the moves. You have to know how to sell a move to make it look entertaining, make it look realistic, or just make it look somewhat believable, because someone who can sell well, that goes a long way, because if you're a great seller, that just makes the other person look that much better.
What about in terms of sales? If two wrestlers do not like each other, is that, I'm assuming
that's happened. That's just,
it's got to be better for sales, though, right? Just with the build up.
If they can,
similar to UFC.
If they can control themselves, because there was a situation where this one wrestler was Matt Hardy. He was dating Lita, and I'm not sure how long the relationship was, but Lita started dating, after they broke up, whatnot, started dating Edge, who was another wrestler at the time. They all belonged to the same company. They even did like a live a live sex segment in the ring where they went under the covers, and you saw some movement. You saw she took the panties out. I'm like, whoa, this was the Attitude Era where people would flash, and it was just a lot of things happen in the Attitude Area that
You gotta send me that link later.
I got you. That will not fly now in, I guess, the woke era or the cancel era or whatever this is. But yeah, if it does add to it, but they also have to know how to control themselves and still be professional. Because at the end of the day, it is a job. Yeah. Like, you might not like each other, but you got to go out there and perform. And if you don't perform properly, there could be repercussions. So like, don't go overboard with hits. There's a thing in wrestling, like, if say I hit the guy way too hard, or I hit him accidentally, like whatnot, I might get a receipt. A receipt means I'm gonna hit you just as hard or not harder, and you can't do anything about it because you are very deserving of that. So if it's a receipt, you accept your receipt and keep it moving.
Interesting. Okay. There was also another word I noted down here, kayfabe.
Oh.
Did I say that right?
Kayfabe.
'Cause I've heard that too in prepping and sort of doing some research. What does that mean?
Kayfabe is basically whatever your character is on television in the ring. You don't. How do I put that? Like, you keep that character alive. Like, off screen, that is who you are. Okay. If you're supposed to, like, even if you have a real legitimate wife, but in WWE you have this girlfriend, that is your girlfriend. If you do an interview, you talk about it. You don't go into who you really are. You keep that illusion alive, or try to. A lot of people are like, oh, kayfabe is dead. It is and it isn't, because we all know it's an entertainment product, but because like with social media now, if you like, there's a guy, Dominic Mysterio, like, he has a legit wife, and now they have him paired with like different girls on screen. You go to his IG, you're like, wait a minute, how is he with them and he's with them? And some people don't realize it, like, what? He has all these girls? Oh, what lucky dude. I'm like, he does, but he doesn't. Like, one of the girls actually has a husband. Like, it's like acting.
Right.
It's like you're kissing and doing whatever on screen, and some people enjoy it more than others, but at the end of the day, like, you're gonna go back to your person. But yeah, you keep kayfabe alive because that is your character, not just on screen, but even off when you're doing interviews. Some, they don't kayfabe; they'll just be as who they are, and they'll even use their real name, like, on their social media. It's kind of like, oh, your name is XYZ online. I mean, like, in the ring or in the WWE. Then I go to your social media, and I'm like, who is Michael? And it's like, this is because some people, it's just a job. It always depends on the person and how they treat it.
To compare it to something I do know a little bit about, would you say that, like, Conor McGregor has kayfabe? I mean, is that like, or even any of the top UFC fighters? Like,
yes and no.
More so.
Yes and no with Conor, because he's a larger than life character. He has his own persona. So I've seen interviews, I've watched his documentaries. He comes off as such a really cool dude, but in his kayfabe character, he's a dick. Like, he's cocky, he's arrogant, and in real life he really is. But behind the scenes, he doesn't show it as much. He's a family-oriented dude. He watch out for his friends. But on the camera, it's not, because he knows that excitement. That's what people want. They don't want this caring dude. They don't want this, like, nice guy. They want the guy who's going to be talking shit. They want the guy who's going to be larger than life and kind of just extra.
Selling out arenas.
Yeah, because they want a character.
Right.
Because characters entertain.
Yeah. The role of social media in the world of wrestling. I mean, how does that factor into, sales and how fights actually get put on? I'm kind of curious. How do they set up those matchups? Because in the UFC, right, and maybe it's the same, but you obviously win fights and you go for the belt. And
they got a ranking system.
And there's still, like, obviously a system of, like, does the crowd actually want to see you get that title chance, obviously.
Because they might get fight of the night on UFC.
Exactly. Yeah, are they exciting to watch and so forth?
Knockout of the night.
Is that similar in the wrestling world? Knockout of the night. Yeah,
not necessarily, because they don't really have a ranking system. Since, like, with the UFC, the ranking system, like, you win your match, like, you legit won your match, like, on your own merit. in WWE, there's so much different factors because you could be a great wrestler, but if you don't know how to work the crowd, if you don't know how to talk, if you don't know how to like actually sell, then you're kind of limited. And they're like, all right, could we make this guy the face of the company, or is this guy worth pushing? Could we put a belt on this guy? Can he handle like interviews off outside of the actual wrestling?
Yeah.
Because what people don't realize, like what they see on TV, that's one aspect of the game, but they have to conduct themselves like they're now a representative of WWE. So whether they're doing shows or interviews or doing special events, going to hospitals, meet and greets, like is that person a good representation? And that could help like really push their in-ring career. Like, you know what? Let's really use that person, or let's put a belt on that person, or they might not know how to talk, but everything is great. So let's give them a manager who's going to be their mouthpiece, or you know what? Let's put them with this faction, like kind of help build their character until like maybe they're ready to be on their own type of thing. Because there's been wonderful and great wrestlers in the past, but if you lack certain things, there's so much competition. I feel that WWE is like, oh, you're nice, but this person's better, so back to the line, or they'll just cut you. Like you'll wake up one morning and you'll be like, oh, I got released. Damn, that sucks.
And to kind of mini tangent there, like I've seen the Iron Claw, and I know you have.
Love that
too.
movie.
Great movie. Yeah, we should do
so
a segment
sad.
on that
Yeah,
at some point.
definitely.
But, like there was not. It doesn't spoil anything, obviously, but the interviewing skill was present there, right? And harnessing or honing rather the skill of interviewing. So to your point there about how does someone interview well, or they fine in front of a camera, or speaking to someone, that was interesting. That was an interesting part of the film, and shed a lot of light on what you just said, really.
But if you notice, like they were able to like redo, like okay, let's try it again. Let's try it again.
Yeah.
Now, like they have so much live segments. There's no room to redo. You better be on point. You better know how to talk, because when going back to social media, if you stutter, if you mess up, if you try to make a joke, you try to clown someone, it doesn't come out right. Yeah, social media world will let you know it. You will become a literal meme, and they don't show no mercy, because wrestling fans also are very fickle. Like they love the community, but I hate the community. They're just the worst.
Same with the UFC. Like I mean.
But it's different with UFC because, I enjoy wrestling. I know it's scripted. People are like, oh, it's fake. I was like, no, it's not fake. It's scripted because a lot of these injuries are real. Like a lot of guys I watch now, they have come back from multiple surgeries and concussions and just different things. But it hits a little different though than with the UFC.
Interesting. Now, I don't even need my notes for this one, but Speedos. What are the benefits of wearing those?